Hello, my name is Simon.
My name is Thomas.
Det her projekt vil vi tale om, hvad virkelige løgne er, og hvad det gør for din krop. Forskellige typer af løgnere, og mest almindelige løgne, og hvordan man kan opdage, hvis en lyver osv. Vi valgte det her emne, fordi vi gerne vil vide mere om det, og for at indse, hvad konsekvenserne er for at lyve. Så vi var virkelig nysgerrige. At lyve er en stor del af vores liv, og det sjove er, at vi faktisk har lavet det lige siden vi var 2 år gamle, så det er ikke nogen overraskelse, at vi er rimelig gode til det. Og så vil vi forsøge at sige de mest basale oplysninger til jer, så det er nemmere for jer at huske på fremtiden. Og vores mål er at lære jer om vores emne så enkelt som muligt.
So what is lying and why you should stop it? Lying is basically the untrue facts you say to get the things your way you want or to get out of trouble. We've been taught from young age that lying is really nothing you should do. But even though the people who have lied the least that we know from the people have lied at least a couple thousand times in their life still. In fact, it's been proven that men have lied over 100,000 times in their lives, and women have lied over 60,000 times in their life. And the biggest reason really why you should stop lying is because, of course, you get more stressed when you lie, and also when you start one lie, you could say we've been all in that situation where we have to start telling more and more lies. So,
The most common lies. There are many types of lies you get in different situations when you have to say different lies. But of course there are also many common lies that many people say, and here is some of them. It wasn't me. I'm fine. I never got the message. One size fits all. And I start my diet on Monday.
in what situations do we lie? It has been proven that we almost always start lying when we feel just that little bit more stressed. We mostly lie when we're meeting a new person and we're starting a conversation with them. It's proven that we lie 3 times more when we're meeting another person, and 60% of us can't lie without lying at least once when you're talking to another person. Another time when you would lie a lot is during job interviews, because of course you're trying your best to impress the other person you're getting a job. But we wouldn't really recommend it because it's actually that 70% of all lies that are in job interviews are actually found out of, and the person is fired later on. Another situation when you would lie a lot, which could really surprise you, is that you're lying to your own children. So you might ask, why would you ever lie to your own children? Of course, as you might know, that children can also sometimes ask some really tricky questions, like how are children born, and yeah, you know those types of questions, you've experienced them. The last but not least time when you would lie a lot is actually during internet messages. On Skype or during email and stuff like that, and just because when you're in real life you can of course see if they are lying or not. If their eyes get narrow and their upper bodies freeze, for example. And yeah, during messages over the internet you can't really see that, so they take the advantage.
Pros and cons of lying. We all know that lying is nothing good, but there can also be a good part about lying. There's actually a lot. A surprising fact is actually you become smarter by lying. Then you maybe would ask yourself, how could you ever get smart by doing such a bad thing? Well, the reason is actually really simple. When you're young, you are really not the best at lying. In fact, you're actually so bad you can get caught really easily. So it takes the brain to get used to it, and it shows in a study where people who had 22 to 26% more white matter in their brain, which means that they are better at dealing in stressful situations. Another good thing about lying is sometimes when you feel you don't want to say the rough truth, you automatically start lying because you don't want to feel bad about yourself. But of course, we all know the bad parts about lying. You get more stressed, and you're not being honest to people that maybe are important in your life. Does your mood affect the amount you lie? We all start lying at different situations, but what situations are most likely to lie in? Of course, we all know that we start lying because we feel stressed. And as Thomas said, you start lying a lot during job interviews. And you might not know this, but the time of the year where you lie the most is actually around January. Because there you are going to lie about what you got for Christmas and where you traveled and what you did on holiday, and maybe to do it to feel a little bit arrogant. So,
How to detect lies. The main parts to detect lies is mostly body language and or technology, like for example the lie detector. Body language, you could say, is the easiest way to detect a lie without like using many technology and stuff like that. But yeah, the main parts what you could really use to detect lies from somebody with their eyes would be that right dominant-eyed people, they would always look to the right, and the opposite, of course, for the left dominant-eyed people. This really depends on the personality. Some people, while they're lying, they might blink more than usual, or some people might blink less than usual. They will always close their eyes slowly, and they will always try to break eye contact. And about their bodies, their whole upper bodies will freeze. And also they will smile when they're done telling their story, as if it's kind of a joke. They will speak a little bit weird, and they will make sentences longer. Which, for example, they could make, instead of saying there, they're going to say they are, just for example. They will usually hide some of their body parts, like their neck or mouth or eyes sometimes. They will also adjust their hair or clothes, and they will also clear their throat or swallow before they're trying to say something. And or of course their vocal pitch will rise, which means basically they will talk at you in an angrily way, as if they would be mad. The human lie detector. You might think that sometime before, when technology wasn't really so advanced, nobody could detect a lie from a really great liar. But of course that's not the truth, since many people in the past, they studied lying of the human nature, and they really studied it for a long time, and they try to achieve their goal as of so nobody could lie to them. And nowadays there are still people like that, and the growth of those kinds of people, they're just increasing. The funny thing is that most people like that, they can even be much better than the lie detectors themselves. So that's basically the part where the human brain can really defeat technology.
The lie detector. The lie detector is obviously one of the most handy pieces of technology for lie detection. We all know what it can be capable of doing. Finding a crime situations is one of the biggest help you could get from it. And it goes to such a high importance level because it can actually save lives. And right now it is 100% sure that there is better lie detection on the way, because also right now the lie detector isn't 100% working. So yeah. And the funny thing is the questioning techniques is actually more effective than normal than the lie detector, because a professional could maybe make the criminal say the truth. So, yeah. And the lie detector is an instrument designed to record bodily changes from telling of a lie. And the first lie detector was made by James Mackenzie in 1902.
And we also got really interested by this technology that we decided to actually make a mini version of a lie detector ourselves. And we're gonna take up one test subject right now. I just need to get everything set up so you can see.
Press escape. Escape on the keyboard.
Okay, so this is our lie detector. You can see over here, the metal nails here is the place where you put your fingers. It's driven by this battery over here, and I'll just set this so you can see the lights easier. The red lights that are blinking right now, when we put this here, when we put this pulse detector, you could call it, that we took from an exercise bike, when you put it on your ear clip, it will measure your pulse, and these green lights will show if the resistance will go lower, or if the pulse will be unusual, different from normal. So we'll see. Here, come up.
And it takes a little bit of time for Thomas to find the resistance myth in his fingers, because
So
not all fingers are the same, as you can say, and the resistance is different from person to person, so it takes about 10 seconds for him to find out.
Let's turn it off. It's taking a while to find. There we go. I think it should be okay now. So whenever he will try to do some activities, like over here, for example, the pulse, it will detect if it's going higher or not. And for example, if he will also try to press his fingers harder on the metal nails, just try that. And then one of the lights starts blinking a little bit. Okay, so if he presses a little bit harder, and then the light goes out over here, when he releases it, it will go back. So when he presses harder on the resistance meter, it will. It's basically the same thing as starting for your fingers to sweat, and then you can just release that, and you can just start jumping around or something like that, just to. I can't even find a single point where it's turning off.
Yeah, let's say it's enough now,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
right before they,
But
today
we can get stronger the red lights or weaker depending on the pulse.
So, but it works.
We've tested it out on other people also before in school, and they think they like it.
Yeah.
So, there we go. Yeah, you can just. Okay, procedure. Our procedure was for the lie detector that we got an idea how to make a small lie detector on YouTube, and then later on we measured the fingers resistance with the metal nails. Then we put the same. Then we put the fingers on, and we measured it with an ohm meter. We took a resistor that was the same size as the resistance of the fingers. We sent 9 volts through a serial connection through the resistor and through the fingers. We made an adjustable voltage to compare to the different resistance or the pulse of the person. So yeah, of course, nobody's resistance or pulse can be the same, so we adjust it with these turning buttons, you could say. And then we made an integrated circuit measurer, so we could see which resistance is higher or lower there. Yeah. And then we integrated. Then we put in some LED lights to show if what kind of changes there are from the pulse or resistance in the fingers.
For the lie detector we used circuit board, LED, solder, battery, resistor, capacitor, transistor, metal nails, circuit measurer, an ohm meter, and a pulse detector.
How lying affects your body. We all have found out by this time that when we lie, of course, we get a little bit more stressed. But could this lying really damage you so much, since it's actually been proven that we lie about 11 times a week? Well, many researchers say, of course, it is best to stick to the truth, since that huge amount of lying that we do can actually cause headaches, sore throats, or just general feeling sad or depressed and stressed. We think the cause of this is just because people who you lie to sometimes, when you lie to them, you basically don't think about it right after you lie, but later on when you think about it in your life, then you start to regret it a lot.
How often do you lie? So we all lie in certain situations without noticing that we have lied, but how often do you really lie? According to a 2000 study, 60% of adults can't have a 10-minute conversation without lying at least once. And in another study, it showed with also a 10-minute conversation, but with a stranger though, we humans can't tell an average of 3 lies. So, we all know that lying is not okay, but we're also good at it, and our brains really wants to do it. And to keep the society running smoothly, we need to tell white lies. For example, if somebody comes home with their latest piece of artwork and they say, "What do you think of this?" it shows that they want support. Whether you like it or not, you're going to say it's nice. So these types of liars really fill up the lie counter in our lives. But of course you have to be happy after telling this lie, because you didn't offend anyone. Results. Our end product, the lie detector, succeeded, but we couldn't show it right here, but it worked 2 hours ago. So we can see the pulse on the red LED, and when the pulse is rising too much and the light will go out, it shows that the person is being nervous. We can also see the resistance of the fingers when the person is touching the nails, and when the resistance is becoming lower, it means that the person might start sweating. So yeah. We have the future considerations first. If we should make this project again, or this lie detector again, we would buy some materials of the internet to make it more precise, because all these items, things we have here, we found at Thomas's home. So, and yeah. And the conclusion? In the end, our hypothesis actually supported our results. We found out that when your resistance becomes lower in your fingers, that means you get more stressed, as I said before. And yeah, we could also measure the pulse when the heart is beating much more than normal. So we can detect lies. So. And credits. We have learned a lot from this whole science fair. We feel that we have accomplished our goals, even more than we had actually have expected that we were going to accomplish. And the biggest thanks goes to Peter Beck Jensen for helping us with this experiment, and thanks to our parents for helping us when it was needed also, and also thanks to Mihaela and for helping us with the experiment also. No, not with the experiment, but helping us when it was needed. And thanks goes to Sophia, Laura, Peter, and Elizabeth for giving ideas for this board. Thanks for listening.